Today is the 15th Sunday of Ordinary Time, Cycle C. The first reading, Moses told the Israelites who were about to take possession of the promised land that if they obeyed God's commandments and statutes, they will enjoy many blessings. However, disobedience would lead to curses. The law of the Lord, he said, is not high in the sky or far beyond the sea. It is already in their mouths and in their hearts. What does this mean? In their mouths refer to the recitation and memorization during what is called the oral tradition. That continuous recitation in group of the scriptures. Most of the people were illiterate. So that's how they learned the scriptures. They would just, in groups, memorize large passages. And in their hearts refer to the internalization and appropriation of the teaching. We have to reflect on the teachings of God and own them and then act upon them. At baptized, we also have the Spirit of God within us. When we have gone astray or lost spiritually and have suffered a reversal of fortune, we ought to turn back to God. Let us open our hearts and recognize His presence in our midst. He will bring us comfort and peace. In the gospel, we hear Jesus' answer to the question asked, which was, what must I do to inherit eternal life? Jesus answered, love the Lord with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. How can we love God totally? The guidelines are the same for any relationship. Make spending time with the other a priority. Let there be honest communication. Do not do anything that would offend or hurt the other. Avoid sin and live an ethical life. It would also appear that daily prayer, communication with God, is absolutely necessary. The other requirement for eternal life was the love of neighbor. The Jewish notion of neighbor did not include enemies or foreigners. Jesus did not agree with this definition and therefore told a parable. In the parable, there was a priest, a Levite, an assistant to the priest, and a temple worker. So a priest, a Levite, an injured Jew, and a person from Samaria, a neighboring nation, and people who the Jews disliked. This would have intrigued the crowd who were ordinary Jews. since Jerusalem was situated on Mount Zion, anyone coming down the road is descending, and therefore coming away from Jerusalem. The priest and the Levite had already completed their duties in the temple. They were not able to rely on the excuse that to touch a dead man or the body blood would have made them ritually impure and therefore incapable of performing their duties at the temple. Along came the Samaritan who nursed the beaten victim, would also pay for his stay in the inn and promised to pay more if necessary. If this story is translated in our culture, you'll be well dressed and going to an important function like a wedding, and it is raining heavily. As you're driving along, you notice that someone had a bicycle accident and is lying at the side of a deserted road. What are you going to do? Are you and your new suit going to get wet? If you put that person in your car, the seat of your new car will be wet and bloody. Are you going to help to pay for some of the medical bills? Would you be willing to help with other medical bills later? The Good Samaritan did all these things. As disciples of Christ, we are called to go beyond what is reasonable and normal. They will know that we are Christian by our love, a love that goes beyond the expectations of others.